Hey everybody, it's your friend Jason Pound here answering the top questions asked by home buyers in today's real estate market. And amazingly, I recently came across a question that I didn't know was being asked. And that question today is, hey, can you show me that house? The short answer, why, yes, I can show you that house. That is what I do as a realtor. I help buyers and sellers. As normal, let me over-explain. There are 4 things I want to talk through, and I think I'm going to do this in reverse order. It is surprising to me when I list a home for sale, how many times my phone rings as the listing agent and unrepresented buyers call me. Now, I do not want to speak bad about my industry or my colleagues. However, we all know that every industry is made up of mostly good people who are mostly good at their job. There are a few bad apples that ruin it for everybody. Knowing that, if you are a buyer and you call the sign in the front of the house, you need to realize that that realtor has a contract with that seller and they have an existing relationship. Now, my wife and I, we operate very, very ethically, and we are able to handle those situations without giving either side an advantage. In Oklahoma, as listing agents, we're allowed to represent the buyer and the seller in a transaction. However, you're taking a risk. What if you are calling one of the bad apples? Whose interest do you think they are going to be looking out for in that transaction? Are they going to be looking out for your interest and negotiating firmly, making sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed in the contract, and making sure that you are being represented to the best of their ability? Or are they going to represent the interest of that seller? That's something to think about. So I would not recommend calling the sign of the listing agent. I would recommend finding an agent to represent you. It's not an equal analogy, but unfortunately, it's a common one. What if you were getting a divorce? Would both spouses hire the same attorney to handle the negotiations? Or would they each have their own attorney so they could each be fully represented? So, if you see one of my signs on the road, don't hesitate to call me. My wife and I have figured out how to properly handle these situations so neither side gets the upper hand. But just realize you're taking a risk, and you might be calling one of the bad apples who's about to take you for a ride. The other 3 topics that I want to talk about real quick. The first one, for sale by owners. We call them FSBOs. One of my colleagues at the office, her dog's name is FSBO. I think that's hilarious. Shout out to Missy Webb. FSBOs stand for sale by owner, and these are owners who have chosen not to use a realtor to market their property. Most of the time, they are doing that to try to save on realtor compensations that they don't want to pay. As a result, if you have a house that you are interested in, reach out to me as your realtor. I'll reach out to that seller and go, hey, I have a buyer who's interested in looking at your property and potentially making an offer. I'll set up the showing, and we will submit an offer that requests that they pay my compensation, as is normal in the real estate business. And many times, because they're not having to pay 2 realtors, they're only having to pay 1 realtor. In their mind, they're winning, and they're willing to do the transaction. The second one, MLS listings. It is my job as a real estate agent to give you access to every single property that I can get my hands on for you as a buyer. And realize that most of us realtors in our communities know each other. And we know when listings are going to come up before they hit the market. Or we know a listing that's been on the market a while and isn't getting the activity that it should. Regardless, there are many, many, many times that we as listing agents have properties sold before we ever get on the market. And if you would like to have access to the highest possible number of listings that might meet your criteria, you need to hire a realtor who has those relationships. It's not uncommon for people to find a house that they like and it's already pending. Whereas if they would have had a realtor, they could have had that instantaneous communication going on. Finally, the third thing, I need to talk about this. In the state of Oklahoma, by law, if a realtor is going to show you a house, you have to hire them, which means you have to go into contract with them. And that is called a buyer-broker agreement. None of us realtors have a choice about the matter. We have to present the piece of paper. We have to present our duties to you. We have to present your rights to you. We have to present our liabilities to you. And you have to agree to hire us and go into contract with us. So if a realtor asks you to sign a piece of paper before they can show you a house in Oklahoma, they're not lying to you. By law, we have to do that. My name's Jason Pound with Jericho Pound Realty Group, Keller Williams, Molnix, and Norman. We service the entire Oklahoma City metro area with hyperlocal expertise in South Oklahoma City, Moore, and Norman. If we can ever be of service, do not hesitate to reach out. We are here to serve. In the meantime, peace out. Have a great life.